Greetings guys, and welcome back to another installment of Enter the Mind. I'm IXL's Run Amok, bringing to you today a game now, a TvT game I had on the North American server, and I believe it could be of some nice value, so let's get in here. Alrighty then, so it is going to be a TvT. And, well, TvT, bit of a coin flip matchup, very aggressive, can oftentimes be very one base-ish. In this game we are going to focus on a 15 gas build though, and a small deviation I do make out of it. A lot of you guys can follow this build and I will link in the description bar below, so it will be Innovations Marine Hellion Expand, but with a bit of a twist. Alright, we'll speed this up just really quickly.
SCV ready.
So obviously the build opens up with 10 depot, 12 racks, 15 gas, and then you kind of deviate from there, so it's pretty sweet. Alright, right now I'm just kind of setting up my camera hotkeys. In TvT, my mindset, man, my mindset, things can be so crazy in TvT. You've got Hellbat drops, Banshees, Marine Mine, fast Hellbats. You've got compositions like Biotank, mech, Sky Terran. Some people even throw in nukes in there sometimes. They get a bit crazy, and it's always pretty fun to watch as a spectator and caster. But this game we're just gonna a little bit straightforward. My main composition I will try to do in TvT is Biotank, whether it be either heavy on Marauders to counter mech or just Marine Tank as a standard composition. Gonna go send my scout out here. Always really good. Also to note, to rally that 14th built SCV to coming out so it clocks over to 15 supply on top of that refinery, just allows it to be a little bit more smoother in transitions. Also looks pretty cool from a spectator's point of view of it, just how professional, how sleek your build's looking. Alright, so we're going to open up with some Marines. Obviously does come up here, his scout is a little bit late, but there's nothing to kind of worry about. Just kind of dodging in and out here, trying to make sure my SCV isn't on the opposite side of the depot so it gets picked off. So it's always really good just constantly pushing T and right clicking on that depot to make that SCV move over. Marine pops, obviously going to kill this SCV before it gets away. I do stutter set one too many times and just get it. That was really close. Alright, getting in his base, what do I see? No gases. This is fantastic. So in essence, I'm actually now a tech build ahead of my opponent. He's now looking to go for a gasless expansion. Meanwhile, I got my gas at 15, so I'm going to have a faster factory than him, which means I can go up tech trees and I can be aggressive. And that's where I decide mentally in my head that I am going to switch on the aggression around the 8 to 9 minute mark. Alrighty. Another good thing to note is, yeah, his CC went down faster than mine. That means I've gone for a faster tech route than he has. Or I've committed my resources somewhere else. He's gone for a straight expansion, he's going to have Marines. Alright, now getting my factory, my reactor. Got my first two staple Marines. I don't need to build a bunker at this point because I can feel quite safe. He's getting his expansion, so he's not going to be all-inning me off some kind of Marine SCV pool because it doesn't make sense. His Marine count is going to be close, if not equal to mine for a long time. And if he does push out across the map, I can get a bunker and I should be fine. So my bunker goes down a little bit later this game rather than usual. Usually when you'll find players will get their expansion, instantly build a bunker because they want to feel safe. I skipped the bunker, I got a faster supply depot, my factory was down that little bit faster as well, and I can build more Marines. Alright, doing the old flip of the roof. Factory on Reactor, Starport, land my Barracks, get my tech lab. Want to start getting things like stim, combat shields to kind of meet him in the mid game so I don't do enough damage. Now on double gas. Always get your second refinery, by the way, guys, when you get your factory. It just helps you to keep moving up with your tech tree, kind of. It allows you to just keep pushing through with it. Off of 2 base, you want to realistically be aiming for 3 racks, 1 factory, 1 starport, 1 engineering bay. The moment you get your third CC, your options become almost unlimited. You can go up to something like 2 factories, 1 starport, double engineering bays, 8 racks. Like, that's really committal. Ideally you'd want to go on 6 racks, but some people have been known to go to 8 just to push their opponent over the edge and then secure a later third. Right, so this is what I was talking about with that mental mind frame. Because I knew he was going for a gasless fast CC, I know he's going to have a high marine count. I know he's going to be very heavily on SCVs a lot earlier than I am, so his SCV count should be maybe 2 or 3 more, tops maybe 5 more than mine. Have a look at this really quickly. Yeah, I'm actually 3 behind. So I decided to go for a Hellion drop, because Hellions are both good versus workers, and both really good versus Marines if you get some nice lineups. Adding on now down my additional barracks, I want to like kind of meet him now in the mid game. I'm going to do some damage to try and catch up, because my expansion was a little bit later, because I know his economy is going to be better than mine. So I'm going to do some damage, even up the worker count, maybe do some harassment on some units he might have ahead of mine or something like that. Start getting my tanks. This is really crucial. Obviously keep focusing now on the Medivac as it's going cross map. Additionally now I want to be transitioning into Marine Tank. I get the nice drop in. Didn't really react too well with my Hellions, but I got in there. I seen him go for Cloak Banshees, so that was another good thing about this build. Because I was putting on aggression, I was able to see what aggression he wanted to put onto me. And it looked like his follow-up to his gasless build was to go for fast tanks and fast Cloak Banshees, so he would have gone for double gas to achieve this. And no worries, look, I've gotten in there, I've done damage, I've seen exactly what he's doing. I am now instantly building a Viking. I've got my engineering bay because I went for upgrades to kind of keep in par with him. And I just add down turrets. So now I play a more defensive game while I'm going through this phase. And this is fine, he can't realistically touch my mineral fields and do too much damage. If he starts attacking, you just pull workers away in the opposite mineral field. I'll move over, start mining. Should have a Viking, control group that Viking. Patrol it over one area or leave it in between both bases. Because you've got missile turrets, you can hold any kind of Banshee harass. So here we go, gets over here, he's doing some damage, picks off an SCV, that. 2 Marines get over here, they stim, don't do too well, but whatever. I'm okay to lose Marines at this point, because if I'm shutting down his aggression, he's invested 200 for Cloak, he's invested 150, 100 for a Banshee, and he got 1 worker. And 2 Marines. I've just traded minerals for gas. And in a war of nutrition, that's always probably one of the best things. So, another worker here. I get there, kind of deny that, he kills another Marine. So now I've lost 4 Marines. He now has 2 Banshees out in the field. I'm pretty sure I just killed a Banshee right there. I didn't see it, but it died. I've got 2 Vikings out now, so I can start going back into building Medivacs. I can start getting my +2 because I've got my armory out, so this is really good, pushing through with the upgrades. Marines are really good when you have attack upgrades on them. Ideally you'd love to even them up, but in TvT that doesn't always happen unless you go for something like CC first build into like 3 racks into like double engineering bang or double upgrades or something like that. Drop down a scan, we want to know what he's going for. We see mech. Okay, it's a big telltale. Nice little cute moves here with the Medivac, lifting up that tank there. Gets over here, wants to start doing damage again. Banshee uncloaks, and well, my Vikings are going to chase it down. Drop that tank, repair it. Losing tanks is critical in TvT. I cannot stress that enough. This whole time my macro has kind of been thrown off, so now it's trying to, get onto that. I don't want reactors anymore. If he's going mech, I want marauders. If I have a high marine count, I'm going to get absolutely decimated. So I shoot down one of those. Ideally when I have 2 tech labs to 1 reactor. Sometimes even 3 tech labs to 1 reactor. That's the kind of ratio I work with. I find it's best doing it that way, just producing 3 marauders, 2 marines. Because obviously you need marines to kind of shoot down Vikings and things like that, but they're the squishiest part of your army. Tank shells, splash, hellbats, blue flame hellions, they all wreck marines. So you don't want them, you want to kind of change it up. Get rid of his mech, get some tanks of your own to kind of keep up with his tank count. So if he pushes into your army, you kind of want to have a siege line that's strong enough to go, okay, I want to reconsider that, unsiege and move away. Because if he goes in there, he's going to trade too inefficiently, his tank count and all his hellbats, which is usually the buffer for mech, gets completely destroyed, and your bio can just kind of run in, fan out and kill all these tanks. Now it's just a bit of a macro war. I'm sending out marines now to kind of get a gauge on how many bases he's on. You can see this in the mini-map, this is really good. Adding on more additional tech labs, so now I'm basically going to run 1 reactor and 5 tech labs. Like, I want a lot of marauders, because I've been producing marines this entire game.
Upgrade complete.
I've got some Vikings. Vikings aren't a huge issue. There's not a lot you can really do with them. I mean, obviously it'd be lovely to have air control, but generally the mech player is always going to be producing more Vikings than you because he doesn't need to build Medivacs. Just building more CCs. I know he's got a 3rd base, so I've always got to be a base ahead of a mecha player, generally. I've got some lovely map vision. He's contained himself now on 3 bases, as it seems. So I've got map control. Map control when you've got Biotank is fantastic. There's an engagement that's going to come up pretty soon, and this is going to demonstrate this, but until then we're going to kind of just watch me run around, maybe poke in here and there and find some holes in his defense, or their lack of. Alright, stimming a marine in here. I just want to see if there's siege tanks. Obviously you don't want to stim a bioarm in here and get confronted with sieged up tanks, because you're just going to lose it all. I tried to get the snipe off on it, but it was obviously strong enough to kind of hold that off. Nice repair going down. A scan, I pick off a tank, and then I know it's time to bug out. I've got 4 tanks, he's got 5 to 6. I'm not going to win that. He's got Vikings, I don't have air control, his siege tanks are now going to be to see further than mine, so he's going to be able to get hits off on me, so I'm like, no point wasting units, back off, regroup, maybe come in, swing around for another attack. He's got Belcher Vestige. Got like those 3 points of attack, and well, tanks can kind of cover that pretty easily. So what you really want to do on Belcher Vestige is, just pause this really quickly, ideally what you'd love to do is get your siege placements on these corners of his base, right here. Things that can cover the ramp with siege tank fire, cover this ramp. If you can get siege tanks in this area here, you're sweet. You just elevate units up into here, drop him into his main. He's forced to bring units back and commit to an attack. And with mech, if you catch him out of position in this instance, and he doesn't have things like sensor towers to kind of preemptively warn him, you're in a fantastic spot. This isn't something I abuse in this game, but this is something to look out for. Likewise, if you're spawning in the south position, this area here is where you want your tanks, just below the natural, covering the ramp. Elevator drop into the main. You can most times you can also pick off a lot of production facilities that are built here, like these 2 barracks, these 2 tech labs, this factory here is probably all going to be absolutely annihilated if someone sieged up tanks here. Ideally, and you also cut off this expansion. Alright, back to the game. Just taking bases right now. These Vikings out here, I see this 1 Hellbat going across the map, and I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? And this is what I'm talking about. Look at this position. He's willingly come out onto the map and basically donated me his army. Because I'm so heavy on my marauders, my tanks are sieging up faster than his. I'm going to lose this Medivac, but it doesn't matter. My units have stimmed. I've got a semi-concave on him already, and we'll just watch how this engagement goes on normal speed. So I did some nice little stutter step here. I'm 2-1, his mech is 1-0. This is generally where mech is going to be its weakest. You should always have an upgrade advantage versus mech. If you don't, engagements are not going to be anywhere near as favourable for you. Alright, now to address that Hellbat issue, that kind of just random Hellbat walking across the map. Okay, when these things can tear up a mineral line, so I send a bunch of units over there to clean that up. Now I want to go do pressure against his 3rd. He's just lost a huge amount of his army. Mech takes a long time to replenish. Obviously once you get established on 3 bases, it's a lot easier to kind of keep churning it out. But he just donated me an army and calls GG. Because he knows his 3rd's going to die. When his 3rd dies, I'm taking a 4th. I've got 5 CCs. I'm getting into a position where I'm just going to add down more racks or start doing my sky transition in TvT, and that's where I'm going to be at my strongest. My upgrades are ahead of his. If he's a base down, it's incredibly hard for him to kind of get back out, because the likelihood I could just contain him with my own tanks at this point, because he doesn't have any. And when he does commit to tanks, it's going to be very hard to push out. I could just trade a bio army with him, and he would lose basically that. And if we go to his base, look how low he is on resources. 600, 600, 300. 460. You know, he's been mining a lot, and it looks like he's been heavily muling his main. Wow, his natural's actually got nothing in it. So if he loses this base, he's basically going to be starved. So he does the right thing. He calls GG, and that's the end of that game. Yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. I'm at IXLRunamok. More videos to come soon. The build order will be in this description bar below. Obviously the main build order, you can do your own tweaks off of that. That's the beauty about Innovations build. Kind of allows you to open up as many tech trees as you want. You can do cool little things with them, but it does come down to reactionary. And